Hey there, lovely listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Fluent English with Podcast. I'm Sophie.
And I'm Alan. We're here to sprinkle some vocabulary magic on your English learning journey.
Absolutely, and today we've got a stellar lineup of words for you. Let's dive right in. The words on our menu today are skyscraper, traffic, pollution, streetlights, commute, and crowds.
These are words you'll find yourself using and encountering often, so stick around to master them.
Let's start with our first word, skyscraper. A skyscraper is a super tall building, usually found in big cities. Think towering structures that pierce the sky.
Right, Sophie? And you might hear people use synonyms like high-rise, tower, or office block when referring to skyscrapers.
Exactly. Now, let's make it even clearer with some simple examples. The skyscraper in the city center is impossible to miss. Or, I work on the 25th floor of that skyscraper.
Here's another one. She gazed up at the gleaming skyscraper in awe. Or, skyscrapers define the modern cityscape.
Perfect. Now, get ready to eavesdrop on a conversation where the word skyscraper pops up naturally.
Have you seen the new skyscraper they're building downtown?
Yeah, it's massive. I heard it's going to be the tallest one yet.
Wow, that's impressive. Skyscrapers always make me feel so small.
Tell me about it. I wouldn't want to work on the top floor, though.
Me neither. The height would freak me out.
I wonder how they build those skyscrapers so tall without them falling over.
It's amazing what engineers can do, isn't it?
What a natural conversation. Did you catch how skyscraper was used, Sophie?
I sure did, Alan. It flowed seamlessly into their discussion about city life. Conversations like these really help reinforce vocabulary in context.
Absolutely. And remember, listeners, don't be afraid to immerse yourself in real English conversations like this to boost your language skills.
That's right, Alan. Stay tuned as we unpack more words to supercharge your English vocabulary.
All right, folks, let's keep the momentum going with our next word, traffic. Now, traffic refers to the vehicles moving along a road or street, especially when they're congested or there's a lot of them.
That's spot on, Alan, and some synonyms for traffic include congestion, gridlock, or simply cars on the road.
Absolutely, Sophie. Now, let's break it down with some simple examples. I was stuck in traffic for an hour this morning, or traffic jams are common during rush hour.
Here's another one. Heavy traffic delayed my arrival to work. Or, I avoid driving in traffic whenever possible.
Perfect. Now let's dive into a conversation where the word traffic is buzzing around.
Ugh, I hate being stuck in traffic. It's such a waste of time.
Tell me about it. I was late to my appointment because of the traffic jam on the highway.
It seems like there's always traffic when you're in a hurry.
Seriously. I wish there was a way to magically clear the roads whenever we needed to get somewhere.
That would be a dream come true. No more honking horns or bumper-to-bumper traffic.
Ah, if only we could escape the clutches of traffic jams forever.
I felt that frustration, Alan. Did you catch how traffic was used in their conversation?
Absolutely, Sophie. It really highlighted the annoyance that comes with being stuck in traffic. And it's a word we all can relate to, no matter where we're from.
That's right, Alan. So, dear listeners, keep practicing these words in your daily conversations. It's the best way to make them stick. Now, let's roll into our next word, pollution. Pollution refers to the presence of harmful substances or contaminants in the environment, especially those that are detrimental to human health or the ecosystem.
Absolutely, Sophie. And some synonyms for pollution include contamination, toxicity, or environmental degradation.
Spot on, Alan. Now, let's make it crystal clear with some simple examples. Air pollution is a major problem in many cities, or we need to take action to reduce water pollution in our rivers.
Here's another one. The factory's emissions contribute to pollution in the area, or pollution from cars is harmful to our planet.
Perfect. Now, let's dive into a conversation where the word pollution clouds the air.
Have you noticed how bad the air pollution has been lately?
Yeah, it's terrible. I can hardly breathe when I'm outside.
I read that pollution levels have reached dangerous levels in our city.
That's concerning. We need to do something to reduce pollution and protect our health.
Absolutely. I'm thinking of biking to work instead of driving to help reduce my carbon footprint.
That's a great idea. Every little bit helps when it comes to fighting pollution.
Wow, that conversation really hit home, Sophie. Did you catch how pollution was used?
Absolutely, Alan. It highlighted the urgency of addressing environmental issues like pollution. It's a word that carries a lot of weight in today's world.
Exactly, Sophie. And it's crucial for all of us to be aware of the impact of pollution and take action to protect our planet.
Well said, Alan. So, listeners, let's do our part in keeping pollution at bay.
Now, let's brighten things up a bit with our next word. Streetlights. Streetlights are those tall posts with lights on top that illuminate roads and sidewalks at night.
Absolutely, Alan. And you might hear people refer to streetlights as lampposts or simply lights along the street.
Spot on, Sophie. Now, let's light the way with some simple examples. The streetlights came on as the sun went down, or I feel safer walking home with the streetlights on.
Here's another one. The city installed new LED streetlights for better energy efficiency. Or, streetlights are essential for visibility on dark roads.
Perfect. Now let's illuminate a conversation where the word streetlight shines bright.
I love walking through the city at night when all the streetlights are on.
Me too. It feels so magical with the streets lit up.
It's like the streetlights guide us on our nighttime adventures.
Definitely. I feel much safer knowing the streetlights are there to light our way home.
Yeah, it would be pretty spooky walking around in the dark without them.
Absolutely. Let's follow the path of the streetlights and see where they lead us tonight.
What a charming conversation, Alan. Did you catch how streetlights illuminated their discussion?
I sure did, Sophie. It really painted a picture of the cozy atmosphere created by streetlights at night. It's a word that adds warmth and security to any urban setting.
Exactly, Alan. So listeners, next time you're out and about after dark, take a moment to appreciate the comforting glow of the streetlights around you. All right, let's keep the journey going with our next word, commute. Now, a commute is the journey that you make regularly to get to work or school, usually traveling between your home and your workplace or educational institution.
That's right, Sophie. And some synonyms for commute include journey, trip, or travel to and from work.
Absolutely, Alan. Now, let's cruise through some simple examples to help you understand commute even better. My commute to work takes about 30 minutes by train. Or, she listens to music during her daily commute.
Here's another one. Traffic can make the commute longer than usual. Or, I prefer to read a book on my commute rather than staring at my phone.
Perfect. Now, let's hit the road with a conversation where the word commute takes center stage.
How was your commute this morning?
It was okay, but the train was really crowded.
I know what you mean. I had to stand the whole way to work.
Oh, that's the worst. I usually try to avoid the busiest times to make my commute more bearable.
Smart move. I've started listening to podcasts during my commute to pass the time.
That's a great idea. It definitely makes the journey more enjoyable.
Yeah, and it helps me stay informed or entertained before starting my day.
What a relatable conversation, Sophie. Did you catch how commute was used?
Absolutely, Alan. It highlighted the daily grind of traveling to and from work or school. It's something many of us can relate to.
Exactly, Sophie. And finding ways to make our commutes more pleasant can really improve our overall quality of life.
Well said, Alan. So, listeners, whether you're stuck in traffic or enjoying a peaceful train ride, make the most of your commute.
All right, let's wrap up our vocabulary journey with our final word. Crowds. Crowds are large groups of people gathered together in one place, often in a public setting.
That's right, Alan. And you might hear people use synonyms like masses, throng, or simply a lot of people.
Absolutely, Sophie. Now, let's navigate through some simple examples to help you understand crowds even better. The streets were packed with crowds of tourists during the festival. Or, I don't like being in crowds because it makes me feel claustrophobic.
Here's another one. She got lost in the crowds at the concert. Or, crowds can be overwhelming, especially in busy cities.
Perfect. Now, let's dive into a conversation where the word crowds takes center stage.
Did you go to the game last night?
Yeah, but I left early. There were just too many crowds for me to enjoy it.
I know what you mean. I felt like I was constantly bumping into people.
Exactly. It was hard to see the game with so many people blocking the view.
Yeah, and it was so noisy with all the crowds cheering and shouting.
I think I'll watch the next game from the comfort of my own home.
What a lively conversation, Sophie. Did you catch how crowds was used?
Absolutely, Alan. It captured the chaotic energy of being surrounded by large groups of people. It's a word that can evoke both excitement and discomfort, depending on the context.
Exactly, Sophie. And being mindful of how crowds affect us can help us navigate through busy environments more comfortably.
Well said, Alan. So, listeners, whether you love the buzz of crowds or prefer the tranquility of solitude, embrace the experiences they bring.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Fluent English with Podcast. We hope you enjoyed expanding your vocabulary with us.
Absolutely. Remember to practice these words in your everyday conversations to make them stick.
Until next time, happy learning.